All right, we are going to work on another Google spreadsheet today. And so if you head to Google Classroom, it's going to be the top one called Tech Inventory. And then just like always, you will open yours here on the right side. And then when you open it, it should look like this. So just as a reminder, all of the data we use is right here. So that's where I'm getting all of the numbers, all of the words. And then the project just helps us know, like, what are the instructions? What things do I need to accomplish? So step one is simply making a chart of the data with a column for the device and a column for the number. And so we're going to start in A1 and we're going to label that as device. And then B1 will be number. As always, especially with this one, just pause the video as you need to, because a lot of it is just me showing you how to do it, and then you completing the task. So then for device, I'm simply looking at my data and basically just copying over all of that information. So I'm going to start with iPod touches, and there's 30 of them. And then iPads, 60. So now you can just go ahead and bring over all of that information. Okay, so once you have all of your data typed in, that means we have step one of the project done. Step two says sort the data from A to Z so that the devices are easy to find. So basically we're just telling the computer, put this in alphabetical order for us. Now, in order to do this, you're going to start by clicking in A2. You want to make sure that you have your black arrow when you're doing this, otherwise it's going to mess up your information. So I clicked in A2, I have my black arrow, now I'm able to drag down for all of my devices, over for the numbers. Once you have that information selected, so just the devices and the numbers, then you're going to come to data. We're going to say sort range because we selected what we want it to sort. We want it in alphabetical order starting with A, so we're going to say sort it by A to Z. Okay, so that's done. Now they should be in alphabetical order. If for some reason one of them doesn't, a lot of times what happens is you maybe got a space in front of one of the words, so it could move that one to the top, but also not a huge deal either as long as you know how to put something in alphabetical order. Then step three is create a bar graph or column graph. So for this though, we need all of our information selected. So I'm going to click in A1, make sure I have my arrow, and do the same thing like we had to do for step two of the project. And so now I have absolutely everything we typed into the Google Sheet selected. So now to make our chart, we're going to come to Insert and then down to Chart. Okay, now note it says in our project instructions we want to create a bar or column graph. So when I click Chart, the first thing it's going to do is not make that for us. So it's made this pie chart. All we have to do to change that is come over here where it says chart type, and you should see pie chart. I click that, and then you see you have three different chart choices right here at the top that would work. So it doesn't matter to me which one you pick, just choose one of them. And then I have that completed. Now we would want to move it out of our way so we can also still see our data. Where did those come from? I'm not so worried about it covering the instructions, but I am worried about it covering this. So this is like an image. So I am going to make sure it's selected with the blue box. And then I'm going to come down where there's nothing else, like to click, drag, or move, and just have my arrow. And then I can move it just like any other image. Once you get that done, you are able to turn it in on Google Classroom.